Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful Japanese philosophy, one that might just change how you look at everything you own. It's called Seihin, and it's all about the dignified discipline of simplicity.
Oof, this quote, it kind of hits you right where you live, doesn't it? That feeling that you're always chasing more, always trying to keep up. Well, what we're talking about today is a way out of that trap.
So to really get what this is all about, let's look at it through a story. I want you to meet Jonah. Now, Jonah is, for all intents and purposes, a huge success. He's a wealthy executive, the very picture of someone who has made it.
And what does that success look like? Well, his house is packed with all the latest smart gadgets. His closet is literally overflowing with clothes he barely wears. If there's a new version of something, you can bet he has it.
But here's the thing, the big paradox of his life. Surrounded by all this amazing stuff, Jonah didn't feel happy. He didn't feel successful. He felt suffocated, overwhelmed, just constantly anxious. All his things were basically weighing him down.
And then everything starts to shift. He meets a man named Daisuke, a master ceramicist. In Daisuke's world, it's the complete, total opposite of Jonah's.
So what was Daisuke's secret to his calm, focused life? It's not some complicated formula. In fact, it all comes down to this one number, 3. That's it. This master craftsman created all of his beautiful, world-renowned work using just 3 essential tools.
What Daisuke was practicing wasn't just minimalism. It was a deep philosophy called Seihin. It literally translates to something like clean poverty, but that doesn't really capture it. A better way to think of it is dignified simplicity. It's a mental discipline, actively choosing to have less so you can have way more clarity.
Now let's be really clear about this. Seihin has nothing to do with being broke or not having options. In fact, it was a philosophy practiced by elite Japanese warriors. For them, it was a source of strength, a deliberate rejection of excess.
Why would they do that? Because they lived by this powerful idea. They believed that luxury doesn't make you stronger. It actually makes you weaker, more dependent, more distracted. True strength, they knew, had to come from the inside.
So Daisuke takes this ancient, hardcore warrior philosophy and gives it to Jonah in a way that's incredibly simple, yet totally profound.
And here's the absolute core of the lesson. He tells Jonah, think about it like this. Every single object you own, every single one, is consuming a tiny piece of your mental energy. From your phone, to your coffee maker, to that jacket in the back of your closet.
And you know what? There's actually a modern term for this. Psychologists call it cognitive load. It's the hidden mental tax you pay for everything you own. Each item has to be maintained, cleaned, stored, or even just remembered. The more you own, the higher that tax gets.
So let's just put it side by side. On the one hand, you've got Jonah's world. More stuff means more cognitive load, which leads straight to anxiety and a feeling of weakness. And on the other hand, Daisuke's world. Fewer things, less cognitive load, and the result is pure clarity and strength. The difference is pretty stark, right? So what does Jonah do? He takes this idea to heart, and the steps he takes are actually super simple. First, he just starts. He goes through everything and declutters his life. And second, he makes a very conscious decision to only keep what is absolutely essential. And the result of this huge physical change? It was an even bigger mental one. As soon as the clutter started leaving his house, the mental noise started leaving his head. That constant anxiety he'd been living with, it just vanished.
You know, Jonah's whole journey just proves this old warning is true. He thought he was the one who owned all his things, but in the end, he realized they were the ones who owned him. They owned his focus, his energy, his peace of mind.
So if you take one thing away from this whole story, let it be this. The connection between your physical space and your mental space is real, and it is powerful. You want to free your mind? Start by clearing your room.
And that's the beautiful irony of it all. We spend so much of our lives chasing more, thinking that's what sophistication is. But real sophistication, the ultimate sophistication, isn't about having more. It's about needing less.
So I want to leave you with a question to think about. Just take a look around your own world, at the things you own, and ask yourself, honestly, what in your life is actually possessing you?